Imagine this. You've just finished a feeding session. Your baby is calm in your arms, and for a brief moment, everything feels right. But as the minutes pass, that quiet voice in the back of your mind starts to whisper, "Was that enough milk? Is my baby really full?" It's one of the most common worries new moms have, and one of the hardest to silence. If you've ever found yourself second-guessing whether your little one is getting enough breast milk, you're not alone. Nearly every breastfeeding mom, at some point, has looked down at her baby and wondered if she's producing enough. Because, unlike a bottle, there are no ounce markings to reassure you. Just trust, instinct, and the subtle signs your baby gives you. Let's take a deep breath together and talk about this, not with charts or formulas, but with gentle understanding, because the truth is, your baby is speaking to you. You just need to know how to listen. When I talk to new mothers, one of the first things they say is, "I wish I could see how much milk my baby drinks." And that makes perfect sense. You've just gone through pregnancy, birth, and now, you're navigating feeding, an act so natural and yet so full of uncertainty. But here is the comforting part. Your body and your baby have an incredible way of working together. In those early days, as your milk comes in and your baby begins to nurse more effectively, your body responds to the cues your baby sends. The more your baby nurses, the more milk you make. It's a beautiful feedback loop, a quiet partnership between you and your little one. But it can take time to build that confidence, and that's okay. Let's start by painting a picture of what a well-fed baby looks like. Picture your baby after feeding. Do they seem relaxed, with little fists that were once tightly clenched, now soft and open? Do they let go of your breast naturally and fall asleep, cheeks slightly rosy and lips still milk-drunk? That content, peaceful look is one of the sweetest and most reassuring signs that your baby has had enough. Another thing you'll notice is their rhythm during feeding. In the beginning, your baby might suck quickly to stimulate your milk flow, then slow down into deeper, more rhythmic sucking once the milk starts to come. You might even hear soft swallowing sounds, tiny gulps that tell you your baby is actively drinking. Those sounds are like little melodies of reassurance. And here's something many moms don't realize. Babies, just like adults, have different appetites at different times. Some feedings will be short and snuggly, while others might feel endless. Both are perfectly normal. What matters most is the overall pattern, your baby's growth, mood, and diaper output, rather than the exact number of minutes or the clock. Let's talk about those diapers for a second, because they're your baby's way of sending you little messages every day. In the first week, you'll notice changes as your milk comes in. By the time your baby is about a week old, you should be seeing around 6 or more wet diapers in a 24-hour period with pale yellow urine. Poop will shift from dark meconium to mustard yellow and seedy, a sign that your baby is digesting breast milk well. Each wet or dirty diaper is a quiet little thank you from your baby, proof that their tiny system is working just as it should. Now, let's address something that often causes confusion: crying. Many moms assume that if a baby cries after feeding, it must mean they're still hungry. But crying is actually one of the last hunger cues. Babies communicate in many other ways. First, rooting, smacking their lips, turning their head toward you, or bringing their hands to their mouth. If you catch those early cues, you'll often notice feedings go smoother, and both you and your baby feel more relaxed. Of course, sometimes, babies do cry even after a full feed. They might need a burp, a diaper change, or just closeness. It doesn't always mean they're still hungry, or that your milk isn't enough. The key is to look at the bigger picture: your baby's energy, skin tone, alertness during wakeful moments, and, most importantly, their growth over time. Growth can sometimes feel like a loaded topic. We live in a world full of growth charts and percentiles that can make any mom anxious. But here's what matters most: steady progress. If your baby is gaining weight gradually, meeting developmental milestones, and seems generally content, those are powerful signs that breastfeeding is going well. Many moms also wonder about the feeling of their breasts. Some think that if their breasts don't feel full or leak milk, they must not be producing enough. But fullness isn't always an indicator of supply. As your milk production regulates, usually after a few weeks, your breasts may feel softer, even though they're still producing perfectly adequate milk. In fact, that is a good sign that your body has found its natural rhythm with your baby's needs. And let us talk about the emotional side, because it matters just as much as the physical signs. Breastfeeding is intimate. And when things feel uncertain, it can shake your confidence. If you ever find yourself doubting, take a moment to remember, your body has already done something extraordinary. It grew and nourished your baby before birth, and now, it's continuing to do that in a new way. That bond between you and your baby isn't just about milk. It's about connection, warmth, and trust. Sometimes, reassurance also comes from outside help. A lactation consultant, pediatrician, or a breastfeeding support group can provide personalized guidance. They can observe a feeding session, check your baby's latch, and ensure everything is on track. You don't have to carry the uncertainty alone. Seeking help doesn't mean you refailing. It means you care deeply about your baby. As if you've had moments where you felt your milk supply was low, or your baby wasn't nursing well, please know that it's often something that can be improved with the right support. Simple adjustments in positioning, frequency of feeding, or even stress reduction can make a huge difference. Your baby's needs and your body's responses are adaptable, and that flexibility is one of the miracles of breastfeeding. Before we move to the next part, take a moment to reflect on how far you've already come. Those sleepless nights, the countless feeds, the learning curve, all of it shows your devotion. The question, is my baby getting enough milk, isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of love. It shows how deeply you care, how attuned you are to your little one. In the next section, we'll go deeper into the subtle cues and milestones that confirm your baby is thriving, from growth spurts to feeding patterns and emotional connection. You'll learn how to build confidence not only in your milk supply, but also in the amazing partnership between your body and your baby. Let's pick up right where we left off with that quiet partnership between you and your baby. Because breastfeeding isn't just about feeding, it's a conversation made of touch, trust, and rhythm. Each day your baby learns your scent, your heartbeat, your voice, and your body learns exactly how to meet their needs. But even with that deep connection, many moms still find themselves looking for proof. You want reassurance that your baby is truly getting enough, and that you're doing everything right. So, let's talk about those ongoing signs, the ones that tell a fuller story of growth, development, and harmony. One of the clearest indicators of a well-fed baby is steady growth. It doesn't mean dramatic changes or constant increases, but rather a gentle, consistent climb along their own unique curve. Babies don't grow at the same pace every week. Sometimes they'll have little growth spurts where they feed more often, and then quieter periods where they seem to slow down. Both are normal. The key is that, overall, your baby's weight, length, and head circumference are moving steadily forward. During those growth spurts, usually around 2 to 3 weeks, again around 6 weeks, and later at about 3 months, you might feel like all you're doing is feeding. Your baby might suddenly nurse every hour, and you might start to worry that you're not producing enough. But this phase is your baby's way of telling your body, hey, I'm growing, make a little more milk for me. And your body listens beautifully. Within a couple of days, your milk supply adjusts, and everything balances out again. So, when you're in that phase and it feels like you can't catch a break, remember that cluster feeding isn't a problem, it's progress. It's your baby helping to fine-tune your milk supply perfectly to their needs. Beyond physical signs, there's also something deeply emotional that tells you your baby is getting enough. The connection during feeding. Watch how your baby looks at you, how their body relaxes in your arms, how their breathing slows down as they nurse. That quiet gaze, that tiny hand resting on your skin, is one of the strongest indicators that your baby feels safe and satisfied. Feeding isn't just about calories, it's comfort, bonding, and communication. Sometimes your baby will seek the breast not because they're starving, but because they need to feel close to you, to regulate their emotions, their temperature, even their heartbeat. That's why breastfeeding can be both nourishment and nurture at once. Now, let's talk about your own feelings, because how you feel during and after feeding also tells a story. When your baby is feeding well, you'll often notice a natural letdown reflex, a tingling or fullness as your milk flows. You might see your baby's jaw moving rhythmically, or even feel a soft, warm pull that's not painful but deeply familiar. After feeding, your breasts may feel lighter, and your baby will seem content, sleepy, or quietly alert. If you ever feel pain that doesn't go away after a few seconds, or if your nipples are cracked or sore, that could be a sign of an issue with latch or positioning, and it's worth reaching out for help. Pain shouldn't be a constant part of breastfeeding. With the right support, small adjustments can make a world of difference. Sometimes, the reassurance you need comes from your baby's behavior over time. Think about the patterns. Does your baby wake up on their own to feed? Do they seem alert during playtime, with bright eyes and active movements? Do they return to calm after feeding, resting peacefully in your arms? These patterns, rather than isolated moments, are what truly confirm that your baby is getting enough. Still, it's perfectly normal to have moments of doubt, especially during times of change. Maybe you've started expressing milk, returning to work, or dealing with stress that affects your letdown. These are transitions every breastfeeding mother navigates differently. And during these times, remember that breastfeeding isn't all or nothing. Every drop, every cuddle, every moment at the breast counts. Even partial breastfeeding provides comfort and immunity that benefits your baby. If you're ever feeling unsure, it can help to keep a small journal. Just simple notes about feeding times, wet diapers, or your baby's mood. You'll start to notice rhythms, the morning feeds that feel longer, the evening cluster sessions, the peaceful naps that follow. Over time, those notes become a visual reassurance, proof of the connection and care you've been nurturing day after day. Let's also talk about your intuition, that quiet sense inside that tells you when something feels off, or when everything is okay. Sometimes, mothers are told to ignore their instincts, to rely only on numbers or schedules. But in truth, your intuition is a powerful guide. If your gut says your baby is content, thriving, and engaged, it often means exactly that. Trusting yourself is part of trusting the process. There's also something empowering about knowing that breastfeeding is not static, it evolves. As your baby grows, feedings may become shorter, more efficient, and more predictable. Your baby's sucking becomes stronger. Your milk adjusts in composition to meet new nutritional needs, and the two of you continue to grow together. That's the magic of it. It's a living, responsive system designed just for your baby. Now, let's address one more thing that often weighs on new moms' hearts: comparison. It's so easy to scroll through social media and see other moms posting about their freezer stash of milk or their baby sleeping through the night and wonder if you're somehow behind. But every baby, every mother, every breastfeeding journey is completely unique. Some babies feed quickly and often, others take their time. Some moms pump easily, others prefer direct feeding. None of these differences define success. What matters is that you and your baby are thriving together in your own rhythm. If you ever feel overwhelmed, take a moment to pause and reconnect. Hold your baby close, skin to skin. Feel their heartbeat against yours. That's where the story of enough truly lives. Not in numbers or ounces, but in the trust between you. And here's a gentle reminder: there's no perfect breastfeeding journey. There's only your journey, full of learning, adjusting, and love. Whether your baby feeds for 10 minutes or 30, whether your supply seems plentiful or modest, what matters most is that you're responding to your baby's cues, showing up with patience and care each time. As we wrap up this story together, I want you to take a deep breath and let go of some of that worry. The signs are all there in your baby's soft sighs, their sleepy smiles, their steady growth, and the peace that settles after a good feed. You're doing beautifully. Remember, if ever you need extra reassurance, seek guidance from a trusted lactation consultant or your healthcare provider. They're there to help you succeed and feel confident, not to judge or compare. You deserve support, and your baby deserves a calm, reassured mother who knows she's enough, because you are enough. And in the next video, we'll explore gentle, natural ways to boost your milk supply, especially during growth spurts or times of stress. It's something every mom wonders about, and I can't wait to share simple, evidence-based tips that really work. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe if this video brought you comfort today. You're not alone in this journey, and there is so much more we'll discover together.